Hey guys, it's Kyle here with Gnarly Knives, and today we're going to be doing a first impressions review on this. This is the Benchmade Casbah. This is also my first automatic knife, so I'll kind of give my first impressions on my first automatic knife. But like I said, just first impressions, so this isn't going to be a full review or anything. In a couple of months, after I get some more usage with this, I will definitely do a full review. But just having got this the other day, I can't really give a full review, I feel anyway, just having not tons of experience with it. Have used it a good amount in the last couple days, but not enough to really say, oh yeah, do a review. But we'll just do the specs real quick on this. So I just measured this. Actually, the full length of it eludes me now, but the full length of this from the end of the handle, oh, okay, so 7 3/4 inches. The blade length is 3 3/8 inches, and the actual cutting edge you're looking at about 3 1/8. So it is cool. Excuse me. I know we discuss a little bit sometimes. Whatever, different places have different legal lengths. So this is under the 3 1/2 inch, which a lot of places that's their limit. Some places are less, some are more, some don't have them. No one should have them, but it is an automatic knife, so that might throw a little wrench in the gears in some places. I mean, I do live in Massachusetts, and they're not really too cool on these. I had to go to New Hampshire to get it, but that's why I love New Hampshire. Pretty much anything's cool in New Hampshire. But got this, the price I got it for was about what it goes for online. I got this for $165 at my local Army barracks, Army Navy store, whatever, different places, all different names. But I looked, I can find it on Amazon, but on Blade HQ, they have a couple different styles of it. Like this, it is going for 160, and then it's going for 175 if you get it with the black coating and the serrations. So depending on which variant of it you're looking at, you're looking between 160 175. And it's a lot of fun. I've been playing with it the last couple of days, and it does have, I guess it's cool, whatever. It has a little safety on it, which does work. I noticed it also works too when you can't close the blade when the safety is on. I don't think that necessarily adds any strength to the locking mechanism. It just won't let you close it or open it once that safety is on. But it's just a little tiny switch. You got the little automatic lever right here, and then you switch just forward closer to the button. It's in lock position. Push it away from the button, and it's in the unlock position, and then you are ready to go. This knife, like I said, is my first automatic. I've played with them a little bit, seen them at stores and stuff, but, finally decided, what, I want to finally get one. I do think they are cool. My only thing is just that, you have to kind of play with it a little bit. It took me a little bit to get used to just one-handed closing it, but it definitely is a fast deployer, and, I do definitely like it in that sense. The blade steel, it is CPMS 30V, which is great. It's one of my favorite steels. And then you do have the high saber grind on it, and it does give you a nice little swedge. And what I like too is it actually does have a fairly thin tip, but from the swedge, the way it goes up to the tip, it does add a little bit of strength to that, so it doesn't look quite as thin as it is, but still gives you pretty good penetration. Open up a couple of those plastic, we call the blister packs or whatever. Still a few things left from Christmas still opening, and ripped right through those. And then even did a little bit of food cutting with this. Most people I always get every year those like the summer sausage with the cheese and crackers and mustard and all that. And this actually did pretty well. Cut through the cheese really well. Didn't have to fight it or anything. It just nice glide right through. Same with the summer sausage. I actually was even using this for the mustard. I did wash it first though. But what I'll do too though is just give you guys some size comparison. Because like I said, this is, so it's a little under 8 inches or whatever. So it's, I'd say definitely in the mid-range of size knives. So one here I feel like most people have, is very iconic, is the Ontario. This is the Rat 1. So kind of give you an idea there. So from end of the handle to end of handle is probably about a 1/2 inch shorter. The blade length, actually you're looking only probably about 1/8 of an inch difference on the blade length of the Rat 1. But it's pretty cool. Actually, I just will mention quick before I forget, I actually kind of like it. Does have a nice little choil So I notice at least with the Benchmades I have don't have them, but I don't know. It does make sharpening a little bit easier. I haven't actually sharpened this yet. I'm gonna try a new thing. I know I've said before we're doing like first impressions and stuff. I'm gonna try and stick with the factory edge before going and sharpening it. But I mean, Benchmade, I never really found anywhere to complain with their factory edges. I mean, they're always sharp. And sometimes they're not always the most even on both sides, but this one I really do have to say is actually pretty damn even on both sides, the bevels. So I think that's really cool. I mean, granted, it could just be this one, other one, can't speak for others, but they definitely did a good job with this. But while we're on the Benchmade kick, have here the full-size Griptilian. So I'll kind of show you the end to end. So we're actually looking about the same size. The just a little bit longer on the Casbah. Yeah, rock the Casbah. Just go through these quick. I just got a few from a few different companies. Just trying to find a good one. Oh, okay, I should actually want it like this. So then we'll also have the Cold Steel Code 4. So definitely a little smaller than the Code 4. And line it up pivot to pivot. Probably have about 1/4 of an inch on the blade and about, I'd say probably a little over 1/2 an inch on the handle. So definitely a little smaller, but which isn't bad either. It, because it's only been a couple days, but with carrying it in the pocket, it's very light, and it just disappears in the pocket. You do get, it is that loop over, so it's not really a true deep carry, but I mean, it looks like more on the camera, but it's only about a little less than 1/4 of an inch poking out, so it really isn't bad at all. It doesn't leave a huge imprint like, oh my god, it's a scary knife hanging out. Another one here, just got a couple more we'll go through. So this one is absolutely definitely larger and longer, the Broken Skull by Cold Steel. So you definitely got probably about an inch on each end poking out. And then classic, the notorious, at least on this channel, the Paramilitary 2. I'll just show that. This is just the standard version. So blade-wise, we're actually looking pretty similar, cutting edge as well. The Paramilitary 2, the handle, I'd say probably close to an inch longer on the handle. But this does, I mean, I have large size hands and I have plenty of room. I do have just a little bit poking out on the back, so I can definitely fit it in my hands well. And it is pretty comfortable. It's the Grivery handles, but they do have good texturing. So it's the same material as the standard Griptilian, which I think is nice. And what's cool too is like I said, it is, lightweight, but it's really strong too. Like when you kind of press down on it, because even from looking in there, from what I can tell, it looks like it just has the partial liner, where just like with some of the other Benchmades, where it just has the steel that goes down about maybe 1/3 of the way down, just more for holding everything in place. I'll actually shine a light, get a better look here for everyone. And yeah, it's actually absolutely what it has. But a reason I bring that up, so the liner only goes down about here, so about 1/3 of the way. I bring that up just because a few other, knives I've had with, partial liners, and not that it's a problem, but, it just always, when you kind of squeeze it or whatever, it just doesn't feel quite as robust, rather. I mean, not that, I should be driving over it or anything, but, I have dropped knives, accidentally stepped on them and such, and, especially when you're paying, over 150 on a knife, it's not really something you want to hear a crack and a snap. But that being said, it does feel very strong. I don't really have any worry about anything. But then again, too, my 560 Freak is probably my most heavily used knife, and that only has partial liners, and you can kind of squeeze the liners together easier than this, and that thing is held up amazingly. And that thing I've put through the ringer, that knife's been to hell and back, and it's held up. Benchmade does do good work. I mean, granted, you're definitely paying for what you're getting, but I've always been satisfied. This is probably my fifth or sixth Benchmade that I have, and I love every single one. So I keep going back now. Actually, it's funny, the last few knives I got have been Benchmades. I haven't really, usually would be, I just always go Spyderco. And I love my Spydercos, do not get me wrong. Those will always be near and dear to my heart. But I don't know, Benchmade has really grown on me a lot, from the very first one I got, the mini grip, all the way up to this one. And it's a lot of fun to play with. I really like and then, you kind of get the hang of it. I think I mentioned whatever, but, it took me few times of playing with it to kind of get the one-handedness to close. Oop, I'm dropping stuff here. But does do a really good job. It is, and it's like I said, it's fun to play with, but it's very comfortable, and they do give you a lot of texturing, so you can kind of see in the middle. You have, I don't know what I would call it. It just kind of reminds me of, I don't know. It's almost kind of like tar, like pavement. It just kind of reminds me of that like look of all the like rock and everything mushed together. But it gives you really good traction on both sides. Then you have some of the ribbing and then jimping up along the top just for the about an inch right before the blade. So, it locks in. I'm not worried about the knife coming out of my hand. And it's a very neutral for the most part handle, but they do give you a couple little ridges, but they're very subtle, so you don't really notice it. And at least with my hand, it just, like, especially in the middle, it's like my middle finger just fits right in there. It's like it was almost like it was made for my hand, and that's something I do really like about it a lot. I mean, I am excited to get a lot more use with this knife, and carrying it a lot more, because it is fun to play with, and it's very tempting to just want to keep playing with, but they did do a really good job. I am really happy with this, and it also did come dead center. I know sometimes, Benchmade, you hear the, quality, or the fit and finish rather, and this thing, everything is, tight and together. There's no blade play in it, up or down, left or right. I haven't messed with the pivot at all. This is honestly as I got the knife, and it has just held up very well so far. Like I said, did a couple of the those like plastic blister packs, opening up, cutting some tags off of things, and then just cutting up a bunch of food and stuff, and it's done well. I mean, it's a knife, it's sharp, it's what it's supposed to do. But I don't know, I feel very happy with that. And then I had mentioned that clip, that loop over, but I really like the aesthetic of it. It's a little different than some of the other Benchmades that I have. Their clips, and it just it's a little more sleek. Like my 560 Freak, it's kind of a phallic-y looking clip, and it's fine, but I really like this one. It's subtle, and it fits the pocket well, and I really haven't noticed it too much. There's a couple of times I've reached out like, oh god, I thought I lost it or something, and no, it's right there. I mean, I forgot, just playing with the safety on it. I mean, I guess the safety overall, yeah, I guess it's a good idea, whatever. It's not something I'll probably really use, but it's just, I just use it more just playing with it, just snapping it back and forth. And I always forget that it's on, and I'm like, oh my god, I want the blade closed. But I really have enjoyed this a lot. I mean, this is not going to be a very long video. Like I said, it's really just the first impressions, but I'm really happy with how they have done it. And then, 2S30V, I just absolutely love that steel, and I think Benchmade does a really good job with it. And, the blade shape, it's definitely, you got that spear point, but the way it is, it's very well ground. Everything is very even with it. And then having that little swedge there is nice, because with the blister packs, it just went right in. It didn't have to, some knives, with the fatter tips or whatever, you have to kind of like force it in, and this actually really just right in without really much effort at all, which I thought was cool. And I do not know, I try to look up to see, I know sometimes with knives they'll make automatic versions and then regular manual versions. I tried looking around a few places, haven't seen this. I think this is purely an automatic knife, so I guess that is unfortunate just for some people. Like I said, I had to go to New Hampshire to get it. I think I've seen the one in one of the ones in Mass, but I think in order to buy some knives there in Mass, you have to either be like police or excuse me. Excuse me again. Apologize for that. But with some of the knives that you can get, you have to either be like, police, fire, EMT, some form of public servant or military. So, whatever, fine. Those knives, I just go up to New Hampshire. It's all the same company. They're still getting my money. But, it is a comfortable knife. And then, too, just forgot to go, like you said, there's the jimping up towards the blade, but there's some in the back, and then in the finger choil, or in the finger guard area. The only thing I've just noticed with it, I'm not usually big with jimping right in where the finger guard is, just because I've just noticed sometimes if, like when you're first starting to doing some cutting with it, just if you're bearing down, it will dig into the fingers a little bit. This does a little bit. It's not as bad as some other knives I have, but, I guess over time also will tell. But I don't know. I think that's pretty much all I really have to say there. I just, the sake of rambling too much and just constantly repeating myself. But it's just, I'm just very excited. Just really wanted to get this video out to you guys for you to check out. Hopefully you do live in a place where you can get one, or if not, maybe live near a state where you can go to and then pick one up. I mean, this is something, I will carry around, but it's something probably depending where I go, whatever. I probably won't go into cities carrying it just because or whatever. It's not like with some knives you can kind of make it not seem like it's as. For example, that just shows why the knife laws really are stupid. But I mean, I can open this just as quickly, but but I can also with the paramilitary too, rather. But with a lot of knives, just you can open them very quickly, just as quick as an automatic knife. Let me do a little test here. So just at the same time, I mean, they open the same speed, but with the automatic, it's just purely there's one speed to open it, unless you're just slowly opening your hand with it. But but you can also not look as threatening and just slowly open it, and it doesn't look quite as, oh my god, what's a terrorist with a knife? So you can just do a slow open, where with the automatic knife, it's one speed, and that's full speed, which is cool, but it just, you know, the age we live in now, everybody's afraid and sensitive and go run into their safe spaces and call the cops on you just because some guy's got a knife. It used to be a time everybody carried them, but I think we have since forgotten. But, without getting too political, I'll leave that there. But this is America, god damn it. But, look, you guys have a great rest of your day, night, whenever you are watching this. Remember to please comment, subscribe, like the video, share it if you would be so kind. And check us out on Instagram at Gnarly Knives. And you guys remember to keep carving, stay sharp. I hope you like the video. I hope you like the knife, because it's a cool knife. It's pretty. Made in America. But it still does mean something, right? Alright, guys. Peace out.